Okay, so we are looking at kites today, and we want to see, well, first of all, what is the definition of a kite? So you've got some kites here and some non-kites here, and so I want you to look at them and see if you can tell a major difference. And what I hope that you're noticing is that the kites, they have two sides with equal amount of tick marks on two sides. Now notice how the sides are located. They are not next to across from each other. They're not opposite. So a kite has no opposite sides congruent, but it does have two pairs of adjacent congruent sides. Two sides next to each other. And that is kite property number 1. Okay, so is a kite a parallelogram? Well, we know parallelograms have opposite sides congruent, so this would be no, because no opposite sides congruent. Okay, on to our second investigation. I forgot to draw your kite for you, so we're going to draw a kite real quick. And you're going to put on this kite an S and an I on the left and right hand sides, and a T and a K on, T and N on top and bottom. Okay, so you should have a kite with vertices S, T, I, N as you go around in a clockwise fashion. So our first thing is to draw the horizontal diagonal connecting S to I. And what do you notice about the two triangles formed? Well, it looks like maybe the top and bottom triangles would be congruent. So triangle STI is congruent to triangle SNI. And so how would we know that? Well, we have the common side. Oh, and then in a kite, you also have the sides next to each other congruent, right? The two long sides are congruent and the two short sides. So that would be by side, side, side. So now, what could you conclude about angles T and N? Well, aren't they matchy-matchy parts in congruent triangles? So we could say they are congruent by CPCTC. We can put rings on them. Now we're supposed to draw a diagonal connecting T to N. What would you guess to be true about diagonal SI relative to diagonal TN? Well, it looks to me like they're 90 degrees. So perpendicular. If this is true, what could you conclude about STK? And K is supposed to be where they intersect, my bad. And SKN, well, to me, they look like they're congruent. And we could say that actually by, see, we have hypotenuse congruent, we got 90-degree angles, we got a common side. That would be what? Hypotenuse leg. And then what could we conclude about TIK and TKN, NIK? They are also congruent, also by hypotenuse leg, with the common side and with the hypotenuse is congruent in the right angles. All right, so we're going to pause this video and I'll meet you in the next video.